It's been 4 years since I started my first business, and I was 15 at the time. Now I'm 19, so I'm still pretty young, right? But yeah, I started early, and I think that during those 4 years, I learned more about myself than I could ever have. But also at the same time, which is conflictual, I don't really know myself. It's hard for me to stay in touch with who I am, really. And a lot of those feelings, I think, are here because of the hardships of starting a business. And I'm not saying that it's physically hard. I'm not saying that the work is painful itself, because it's really not. You know, when you start a business, you want to work. The point really is just that I feel like I've learned a lot, and I feel like a lot of young people that might want to start a business out there probably could benefit from what I've learned about myself and from what I've unlearned about myself. So I think if you can make it to the end of this video and still feel like you have a shot at being an entrepreneur, still have a shot at having success in business, I think you should really give it a shot. I think you should really try it, and then you will really find out if you're an entrepreneur, if you're made to be, you know, if you're made to live this lifestyle. On the flip side, if you make it to the end of this video and you feel a little bit discouraged, and maybe you don't feel like you're really made to start a business anymore, that's totally normal. You know, throughout those 4 years, I've had a lot of times when I felt like maybe I'm not an entrepreneur, maybe I'm not made for this. Even now, right? It still happens a lot. But I want you to really reflect, ask yourself the questions that I'm about to ask you, and don't like procrastinate on it. Don't spend a year thinking about who you are and stuff, you know, because I think not making a decision is the worst decision you can make. But I mean, just really take a little bit of time and ask yourself the questions, and then you'll have a start to an answer, right? Are you an entrepreneur? And are you made for this? The first thing that you need to accept is that not everyone is made to start a business, right? Just like not everyone is made to be a professional hockey player, or just like, and not everyone is made to be in politics. It's the same thing. And with social media these days, I feel like everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. Everyone seems to have a genius idea for a business. And yeah, that's the first thing you really need to understand and to accept. Like, maybe you're not made for business, and that's totally fine. It would be stupid to think that just with hard work and with resilience you can get through anything in business. That would be like giving school your all and having really bad grades and still saying like, I'm gonna be an astronaut. You know, it's fun to say, but your starting point is much lower already than other people who are really good at school and who might be made to be an astronaut, right? And so if you start in business and you're not the person that's supposed to be in business, well, you're never gonna catch up to the person that really is made to be there, no matter the amount of work you do. So that's the first thing you need to accept. So now that you've accepted the fact that maybe you're not an entrepreneur, maybe you're not a professional athlete, maybe you're not a scientist, how do you know if you're an entrepreneur without starting a business? I don't know if it's possible, to be honest, but I think I've got the questions that could get you as close as possible to your answer. So the first question I would say is, are you willing to fail? One of the things that most people don't get when starting a business is that the most important business you're starting is not the agency or the construction business or the whatever business you have, you know, selling products, anything. That business is not the most important one you're starting right now. The most important business you're starting is yourself. Being an entrepreneur doesn't mean having a company. It doesn't mean starting something. It means to be someone that's willing to fail over and over and over and over and over again, just to learn a few things that will get them to their next venture. That's what it really is to be an entrepreneur. Am I willing to fail this project that I want to start right now and just take the lessons that I've had and start something else, and then fail that one and really gain knowledge throughout these ventures? And every single project that you start, every single step that you take will get you closer to your vision of, you know, whatever it is, you know, big team, money. But yeah, are you willing to fail? Are you willing to accept that the project you're starting right now might not work and you might have to start over? When I started my business, I had those visions of me having a bunch of clients, of, you know, making a bunch of money and not having to go to school and and buying a house and all that stuff. But I never really had the vision of what happens if it fails? What happens if we run out of money? What happens if our product gets taken over by competition? And I'm not saying that you should ask yourself like, what happens if my partner dies, or what happens if we run out of money? I'm just saying, are you willing to fail? Are you willing for this project to feel like a complete waste of time? Even if it wasn't in some way, but are you willing to do that, you know? So that's the first thing I would say. Second thing is really easier to answer, to be honest. Are you willing to eat shit? Sounds stupid, but am I willing for the next 5 years to be broke, to maybe go back to my parents' house, to always be stressed, always be anxious, and to have all those bad things in your life in order to maybe have a shot at making something successful? And take a second to really think about it, because it's easy to say, yes, I am, I'm ready for anything, let's go into battle, but it's much harder when you're there. Having the feeling of working on something for so long and then seeing it like potentially crumble down after all that hard work, and not coming out of it with any money, not coming out of it with any sort of degree or anything that could get you into a job or anything. That's scary, man. That's tough shit. And it's something that you need to accept as an entrepreneur. It might happen. Actually, you probably will eat shit for the next 5 years minimum. That's the norm in business. You're broke, you're anxious, you're depressed at times. Is it worth it for you? Are you willing to really feel like that every single day just to have a shot at a dream that might never come? I think that's really why people say that not everyone is made to be an entrepreneur. It's not because not everyone is capable of managing people or to sell. Those are hard skills. I'm talking about the mental side of it. It's completely irrational to work on something that might not get you anything, that probably won't get you anything actually. The odds is that your business will fail and you'll work on it for years and come out of it with basically nothing, like nothing tangible. The only thing really that you'll have is, like I said in the beginning, new skills, new knowledge that you'll be able to use in your next venture, in your next business. And then you might eat shit for another 3 years and fail again. And then eat shit for another 4 and fail again. Eat shit for another 5. And then maybe you'll have success, right? Or maybe you'll just eat shit for your entire life. I don't mean to scare anybody, and I think having ambition, wanting to start a business is amazing. I've done it myself. But understand that being an entrepreneur is not some hobby, or it's not a job. It's an identity. You have to be that guy or that girl. You have to be willing to go through these things and maybe never come out. So it's stupid. It's really stupid to be an entrepreneur, to be honest. But yeah, I think that's the second question you have to ask yourself. Are you willing to eat shit? And the third question, a few months ago, my mentor told me this. Being a business owner is seeing a dollar sign over everybody's head. And I didn't think much about it when he told me that, but the past few weeks I've been thinking about it a lot more. In business, you have the choice to either sell something to poor people, fix their problem, fix the problem of somewhere in the middle, or fix the problem of rich people. And oftentimes the easiest and the most straightforward way to make money is to sell something to rich people, to fix their problems, because they're willing to pay more for it, because they value time more than money. But when you do that, when you fix rich people's problems, the only problem that you're fixing, essentially, is not even a problem. Business gurus will always say like, oh, being an entrepreneur, being a business owner is so noble, it's so valuable because you're fixing problems in society. But honestly, I thought about it, and if you're selling to rich people and you're helping them make more money, or you're helping them, gain more time in order to make more money, what problem are you really fixing in society? You're just making the rich richer. And maybe that's something you're fine with doing, but I think it's worth a second to think about. What type of problems do you want to fix in the world? Do you want to help people that are really in need, or maybe you want to, help just your family and you want to make as much money as possible to give them the best life possible? Maybe that's what you want to do. That's totally fine. That's totally noble. But yeah, like being a business owner is seeing money signs over everybody's heads. Like the feeling that you have on a day-to-day basis is so heavy, it weighs so heavy on you of like, what am I doing here? Am I really helping? Or am I, just a number? And am I just making more numbers for other people? It's something to think about. I don't have like a word-for-word question for it, but what I would ask myself if I were you is, what feeling do I want to have every single day after working? Do I want to feel like I've worked hard for myself and maybe for my family? Or do I want to feel like I've worked hard to make a change in the world, to make people better, to be a part of the good in the world, right? So yeah, what do you really want to feel at the end of your day? So I don't know if this is going to help anybody. I don't even know if I'm going to post it, honestly. Like, this is the first video I filmed, like, of me talking to the camera, like, long form. And I'm just trying to use my little bit of experience so that maybe you don't make a mistake, or maybe you feel better about your choices. Yeah, ask yourself, are you willing to fail? Are you willing to eat shit, to have a really bad quality of life for a while? And what do you really want to feel at the end of your day? What do you want to feel in terms of the difference that you're making in the world? Those are 3 things that I would really take the time to think about. Maybe write them down. And just to be clear, I don't want to discourage you of starting a business. Most of the things we use in the world, most of the things we enjoy, were made by businesses here in the Western world. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Being in business is a good thing. It's a positive thing overall. But it depends what business you're in, and yeah, maybe you're just not made for it. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. But it's important to really be able to accept that and not force things. So if you really took the time to write those questions down, let me know in the comments how you feel about it. Not what you think is the right answer, or not what you think your parents or your friends are gonna be more impressed about, but really what you feel in your heart. I might fucking delete this footage and just write it better, because I don't know. Seems like this was missing a little bit of structure, but fuck it. At least I filmed it.